Assalamu alaikum. I am Mobeen Sciencewala, and today we talk with chatgpt to find out the method how to
And perfect.
find your unique voice. So, hi chatgpt.
Hey there. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to help everyone figure out how to find that unique passing voice. So let's dive into it whenever you're ready with your first question.
Okay, my first question is what make my personality, life story, and habits special for my podcast voice?
That's a fantastic question, and it's really the heart of finding your unique voice. So here's the thing. Your personality is what's different from anyone else out there. Little stories you have, the experiences you've lived through, and even the habits that you might just everyday things, all create a flavor that nobody else can replicate. When you weave those into your podcast, that's what makes your audience connect with you. They get to feel like they're hearing from a real person with a unique perspective. So lean into those personal stories and those habits because they are exactly what make your voice special and authentic.
Okay. How can I tell if I am being my true self or just copying other podcasts?
That's a really insightful question. It's something a lot of people wrestle with. So here's how you can tell. If you feel like you're naturally comfortable and the words and stories you're hearing just flow out of you without a lot of effort, then you're probably being your true self. On the other hand, if you catch yourself constantly thinking, oh, I need to sound like that other podcaster, or you're feeling a bit like you're imitating someone else's style to fit in, then that might be a sign you're not fully letting your own personality shine through. The key is to trust that your own stories and your own way of expressing things are valuable. And the more you practice, the more you'll know when you're slipping into someone else's lane versus just being comfortably you. So keep it genuine and trust your own instinct.
Okay. So, can you guide me some easy exercise that can help me find my authentic podcast voice?
Absolutely. Let's do exercise that you can try out. One of my favorites is what I call story snapshot exercise. Basically, just think of a memory or a little story from your life. Be something funny that happened to you last week or a moment that really made you think. Then just talk it out loud as if you're telling a friend without worrying about how polished it is. Notice how you naturally tell the story, what words you use, how you feel comfortable expressing yourself. The more you do this, the more you'll start to recognize that natural rhythm and tone that is uniquely yours. And then you can bring that same authentic style into your podcast. So just keep practicing those little off the cuff storytelling moments and you'll find your authentic voice shining through.
Okay. So, how can I research my target audience so my voice connects with them?
Absolutely. Knowing your target audience is a really smart move. So, one of the easiest ways is hang out where they hang out online. For instance, if your audience is active on certain social media platforms, join those groups or follow those hashtags and just listen to the kind of conversations they're having. Notice what they care about, what questions they ask, and what kind of use. You can also do some really simple surveys or even just ask your listeners directly what they enjoy and what they're looking for. The more you understand their interests and what resonates with them, the more you can shape your authentic voice in a way that really clicks with your audience. So it's all about a little bit of research and a lot of.
Okay. So, how can audience feedback help my growth, my voice without losing authenticity?
Absolutely. It's a great thing to think about. Audience feedback is super valuable because it helps you understand resonating with people and what they really love about your voice. But the key is to use that feedback as a guide rather than a rule book. So, for example, if listeners tell you they love a certain type of story you tell or a certain way you express yourself, you can lean into that more. At the same time, if they suggest changes that don't feel true to who you are, it's really okay to say, you know what, that's not really me, and stick to authentic. In other words, let feedback be a conversation rather than change who you are. That way you keep growing and connecting with your audience, losing your authentic voice.
Okay. Uh, can you tell me how do I study other podcasts to find gaps where my voice can stand out?
Absolutely. That's some really smart strategy. So, on your listening to other podcasts, think of it like a bit of a detective work. You want to listen to a few shows in your niche or genre and pay attention to already being covered and how they're doing it. Notice the topics they talk about a lot, the tone they use, and even the format of their episodes. Then think about what's missing or do differently. Maybe there's a certain angle or a personal story that nobody else is sharing. Or maybe there's a style of humor or a certain way of explaining things that feels more like you. Those are the gaps where your voice can really stand out because you're bringing something unique that others aren't doing yet. So it's really about listening with that curious ear, identifying those little opportunities, and then confidently filling those gaps with your own authentic style.
Okay. How do I mix humor, vulnerability, and expertise in my science education podcast?
Oh, that's a fantastic combination and can make your science podcast really engaging. So here's how you can blend all three: humor, and expertise. First, use humor to make complex topics feel approachable. You can throw in a funny analogy or a lighthearted joke that ties into the science concept you're explaining. It helps listeners relax and makes the material more memorable. Then add a touch of vulnerability by sharing your own experiences or, or maybe a moment when you found a topic challenging. Honesty creates a real human connection that it's okay to learn and grow together. It's easy to understand. When you mix all three, you're basically creating a people can laugh, feel connected, and learn all at the same time. Trust yourself to blend those elements.
Okay. So my next question is that what simple vocal exercise can help me develop my signature sounds?
Absolutely. A simple vocal exercise can do wonders. Favorites is just something called the hum and speak exercise. It's super easy. You just start by gently humming a little bit to warm up your voice, just a light hum on any comfortable note. Then pick a sentence or two, something you're going to say in your podcast, and speak it out loud right after you hum. Notice how your voice feels a bit more relaxed and natural. Another quick exercise is to practice varying your pitch. Just read a line slowly, then a bit faster, or a lower pitch to a slightly higher one. It helps you get comfortable playing around with your natural range. Over time, these little exercises help you find a comfortable, authentic tone that feels like your sound. So have fun with it.
Okay. A huge thanks you to our voice analyst specialist. So I consider your advice and try to practice on it. Hope so. I will learn too much from that exercise. And thank you very much to joining us on this session. Will talk to you.
You're so welcome, and I'm really glad I could help out. It sounds